In this video today, we're going to be considering why you should not be moving to Kitchener-Waterloo. Yes, I'm going to be brutally honest. There are several reasons why you probably don't want to move here. Let's get started with quite possibly the most depressing statistic here within Kitchener-Waterloo is the fact that we have the longest waiting times in Ontario. Our average waiting times are far above the province average. And to put this all into context, Canada itself ranks fairly low in comparison to the other OECD countries. Out of 26 countries, Canada ranks low on the following categories. Physicians per 1,000 people is 26 out of 28. Nurses per 1,000 people is 14th out of 28. Acute care beds is 25th out of 28. CT scanners per 1 million, again, 22nd out of 26. MRI machines, 21 out of 26. And on top of all of that, Kitchener-Waterloo, the hospitals we have, both Grand River and St. Mary's Hospital, have the longest wait times within Ontario. So don't get sick here because the wait times here are absolutely brutal. If we look at the wait times right now, recording on a Saturday afternoon of the long weekend, right now, the wait time for St. Mary's General Hospital at 2:30 in the afternoon is 3.5 hours. Grand River Hospital, I was unable to pull up that information because the website is currently down, but typically St. Mary's Hospital's wait times are going to be substantially less than Grand River Hospital's wait times. Now, number two is the fact that we are still a very car dependent city, unless of course you are living in two of the fantastic downtown cores of both Uptown Waterloo and downtown Kitchener, where there you have excellent infrastructure in the LRT, the bus system, bike lanes, as well as everything can be had. Your local daily needs can be met within a walking distance of, say, the LRT and GO Transit stations, downtown Kitchener, as well as in Uptown Waterloo. You'll be able to get all of your necessities done within a walking distance. Absolutely fantastic. But of course, that doesn't make up the majority of the land here within Kitchener-Waterloo, where we are more of a car-centric society. It is getting better, but for the majority of people living here in Kitchener-Waterloo, if you're living in the suburbs, you're gonna need a car. So that's one thing to look out for. Is we're still a car-dependent city. We're not like Europe. 3 is the cost of living here within Kitchener-Waterloo continues to increase. Yes, it is cheaper than Toronto, the Greater Vancouver area, but of course, this isn't the whole of Canada. There are cheaper places where you could live, like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Nova Scotia, where they have substantially less expensive markets to purchase in. With that being said, those markets are substantially priced lower because they are cooler or have less job opportunities. If we look at the prairie provinces of Manitoba and Saskatchewan, yes, you are going to find a cheaper property out there, let's say in Winnipeg, Manitoba, but of course, you're going to have to deal with -35 weather, as well as Calgary and Edmonton, where they have a long winter, and frankly they don't even get a warm summer like we do here in Ontario. So that's one thing to consider, is the lower cost of real estate elsewhere within Canada. But if you are looking at Ontario, I still think Kitchener-Waterloo is an excellent option, and you still have the benefit of living close to Toronto. If you do have family, you can definitely visit them on the weekend. Now, the fourth thing that is a drawback here to living in Kitchener-Waterloo is the traffic congestion and construction. Now, as the two cities continue to develop and we continue to expand and create more housing and the population continues to increase, we're going to encounter a lot of traffic. Now, I've made a video on this of the bottlenecks that you're going to have to be cognizant of. If you want to check out that video, I'll link it up here above, and it goes over what Kitchener and Waterloo looks like from a map perspective. But let's get back to the traffic congestion and construction. And of course, in Canada, we have what's known as 2 seasons essentially, where we have winter and construction, where we have both the construction going on, where we get all of our stuff done all at the same time within these 7 months that are relatively warm, and then we have 5 months of winter. That brings me on to my 5th thing, which is the harsh winters we have here in Kitchener-Waterloo. Yes, in fact, we are located in Canada. We do get this thing called winter. It's brutal, I'll be honest with you. There's far worse places though to live in Canada when it comes to the winter time. Like again, we said at the beginning of the video, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Newfoundland's colder, New Brunswick's colder. In terms of the weather here within Kitchener-Waterloo, you're typically looking at about 5 months here of winter, where you're going to have snow happening on a more frequent occurrence than you are in other places within Canada, like Vancouver or Victoria, and even Toronto. A fun little fact is we do get more snow than Toronto does, but it is getting better. Throughout the years, we're getting less snow, but we are getting more frequent snow events where we get large snowfalls that happen less frequently, where in past times we got more snowfalls with less amounts of snow. So that's one thing to look out for, is our harsh winters here. If you're considering buying or selling here in the Waterloo region, you can book a call with me in the first link in the description. Let's get back to the video. Now, the sixth thing that people don't realize when coming to Kitchener-Waterloo is we lack a lot of luxury shopping, or even mid-range shopping for that fact. I find myself, I'm not a big high roller. I'm not wearing the latest Gucci or Louis Vuitton. I just want to get something that's durable, that's good, and a quality product. And I find myself driving to the Milton outlets in order to do this. You know, if I'm looking for, let's say, this shirt, for example, this is from Brooks Brothers. It's your mid-tier, run-of-the-mill, but pretty good quality suit and dress shirt. We don't have that in Kitchener. I find that we don't have these places. We don't have a Hugo Boss or a Brooks Brothers or Louis Vuitton or Gucci or Givenchy. We don't have these things here. And that's something you're going to have to be cognizant of. If you're looking for luxury shopping, Kitchener-Waterloo is definitely not the place for you. Now, number 7 is the limited nightlife here. We are not Toronto. We aren't Vancouver. We're not Montreal. We're not a party city per se. We do have a few bars and nightclubs, but those of course are dedicated to the student population that we have, that 19 to 22, 23 range, the younger crowd, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but the fact is that we don't really have great bars for the young professional in their late 20s or early 30s. That doesn't exist here in Kitchener-Waterloo. If you want to enjoy stuff like that, you're gonna have to go down to Toronto and maybe spend a night there or 2 nights and get it out of your system, enjoy the night, because Kitchener-Waterloo frankly does not have that. And the 8th thing that's certainly a drawback to living here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and you know what, it affects me too. I wish this city was located on a large body of water, because we are not. We are landlocked. We do not have a lake. We do not have an ocean. But with that being said, we do have 3 excellent lakes that you can be able to go to within an hour-and-a-half drive. So if you are a beach goer, maybe Kitchener-Waterloo isn't for you. Well, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see what Kitchener looks like from a map perspective, I've created a video on that. You can watch that right now.